times, nobody know the day nor the hour.
Amen.
So if you read one section, somebody will say, oh, no, because this what this means. When we going to find out what it all means? Okay, when he comes, or we get there, all right? So I looked up all the different informations that will be able to help you, and you can go out and research some other stuff. I'll also give you a sheet where you can take notes. The test that you're going to have is going to come from the introduction tonight, and you should have a sheet where you can write down some things. And I don't know if I gave you everything that I'm speaking from, but it should have all the information that you need to be on your test. Is that all right? Okay, so this is the introduction, and we're discussing the end times, which is Revelation. When we study Revelation, we know that there are 4 different views of the end times. And all 4 of them have some key things that they agree upon. The first one is that Jesus will come again for those who love him. How many of you believe that? No matter what else they believe, whether he came or left or whatever they think it is, he is coming back again for those who love him.
Yes.
And he calls his followers to be ready sometime.
No.
All the time.
All the time. Why?
Because we don't know
You don't know the day nor the hour when the Son of Man shall appear. But we know he's coming, right? Okay. So those are the things that we know. Jesus will come again for those who love him. He tells you to be ready at all times, and no one know the day nor the hour. And those people who have tried to give the day and the hour when the time passed, they said, well, maybe I was wrong. So let's just go with the word say. No one knows the day nor the hour. So Jesus had certain teachings about the end. He promised his disciples that he would come again. Maybe.
No.
What he said?
He said, I'll come back.
He will come again. All right? And before his return, he said there are some signs you should look for.
Yes.
That means the end is coming, but it's not already there yet. Okay? That would be birth pangs.
Yes.
Birth pangs were the events that happened before the sign of the end.
Yes.
There are going to be a lot of people saying that they are the Messiah. I'm the Messiah. Y'all ought to be worshiping me.
Oh, Lord.
All right? People will be deceived by these people. And the Bible said, unless the time be shortened, what's going to happen? The very elect is going to be deceived. All right. Wars are going to happen. Famine going to happen. Earthquakes are going to happen. And pestilence are going to happen. We see that happening now, right? Believers in Christ will be persecuted and killed. Oh, that's just going real bad in Africa about now, right? So the Muslim decided that if you don't believe in our God, Allah, they cut your head off. Okay. Believers will witness of Jesus' ascension to the King. Ascend means what? What it means?
Go up.
Ascend means to go up. Many will turn away from the faith. We see that happening now, right? Betrayal by parents, brothers, and friends. So you can't say, well, I can't believe they did that. And you did that to your own mama. Betrayal will be by what? Parents, brothers, and friends. So don't be shocked. There will be an increase in wickedness. And we see that happening right now. All right. Fearful events and signs from heaven. You'll see things happening, you'll be going, wonder what that is. Oh my God. Okay. So the signs of the end. And these are the things we need to look at when we're watching the news and what's happening on the television. Jerusalem will be surrounded by armies.
My God.
The abomination of desolation. And where are we going to look for the abomination of desolation? What the Bible say? Where the abomination of desolation going to be at? Where? Where?
Wait a minute.
I thought it was supposed to be in the temple. Okay.
I'm not sure about that one.
The great tribulation will be like never before. You'll see stuff going on and you don't say, I don't know how I'm going to survive this. I don't think I'm going to make this. Those are just a sign that coming. Jerusalem will be trampled by the Gentiles. False prophets, here come these signs and wonders and miracles. Those who run behind signs and wonders and not the word. False prophets will perform signs and wonders. The sun is going to darken. The moon is going to refuse to shine. And what's going to happen to the stars? They're going to fall from heaven. Severe ocean activity is going to disturb the nation. I'm talking about the news now. This is going on right now. People will faint with terror because they're so scared. Jesus will appear in the sky. The trumpet will stop sounding. The trumpet will sound. I'm just trying to make sure you're listening to me. The angels will gather God's elect. Now we're going to look at Matthew, and I know it's Matthew 24 and 25, and Mark 13 and Luke 21. Now that's a lot to read. And most of you have read it, but I think we can do it. Somebody said, come on, let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
So we're going to start with Matthew 24. And it'll help you with your tests. You listen now. I know how to get your attention, you know. Matthew 24. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be one left here, one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. The ones that say, I already know. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes where? In divers places. All these are the beginning of the sorrows. Just starting. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations. Why? For my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Somebody says it's happening right now. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, meaning it's going to be great, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure to the end, what's going to happen to him? He shall be saved. So don't give up. Don't say, I can't take no more. When these people start calling you and say, I can't take no more of this pandemic, I'm jumping off the bridge, you better tell them.
Don't give up.
Don't give up now. This just the beginning. This just the beginning of it. Okay. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So I don't want to go to Africa. I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to do. Say thank God for the internet. Because if you are afraid to get on the airplane, guess what? Get on the air. Just start preaching the gospel, because the longer it takes you to get this gospel out, the longer it's going to take for Jesus to return. He's trying to wait for us to do some work here, because he don't want everybody to be lost. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, where it's going to be?
The holy place.
Whosoever readeth, let him understand. Then let him which be in Judea flee unto the mountains. Oh, I hear somebody mind backing up. Where were you want to back up to? 15? Okay. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of death. Okay, first of all, let's define abomination.
Okay.
Okay.
Abomination. Put in the sentence in my head. So that's something that's not of God and not good.
Okay.
Evil.
Anybody else? It just shouldn't be. Yeah.
Okay.
You know it shouldn't be going on. So let me tell you what's going to make it easy for it to happen. We are being desensitized now. Things that we once would not have put up with in the house of God, guess what? We say, well, that ain't politically correct. So I guess we got to go along with it. So while we're being desensitized to it, it'll come in the house of God. It'll be right there in front of the pulpit. And you won't see it because, oh, that's just so-and-so. They've been doing that all the time. So when certain things going on in the house of God, it make your flesh feel funny. That's the Lord trying to tell you that thing pricking. It's pricking. So then, certain things, and even go down to when the kids are dancing. There's a difference between liturgical dancing and divination. And sometimes it's divination. And if your spirit doesn't agree with it, and you the leader said, baby, y'all remember one time I sat down, the whole praise team, the dance team, the spirit of divination was so bad. I said, y'all don't see that devil?
Oh, God.
And sometimes they may be doing their hand like this, but they're just acting like a snake. So we have to be so aware of what's going on in the house of God that we allow so many things in the house of God that we won't be shocked. We'll just say, oh, that's just the children, no bother the babies. Okay. So somebody say, well, okay, we're not going to dance for a while. I think we're going to come down to the church and get on the altar and call Jesus. Okay. All right. I need to get that out of you. All right. Okay. Now you satisfied with that? Okay. I just felt y'all a little nervy and things was pricking me. All right. Let the 17. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. You know, because you can't run so fast. If you're pregnant, if you got to carry your baby, then the baby crying because he's hungry. Okay. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. Okay. Cold, frozen. Not on the Sabbath. Why? Because you're supposed to be resting. Okay. I like y'all. Okay. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lord, here's Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs, false prophets, shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he's in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, that's those things going in heaven, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man. It ain't going to be no secret then. Because every eye going to see it. I don't care which side of the globe you on. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened. All right? What else going to happen? The moon. So when you hear people saying the moon refuse to shine, that's what they're talking about. And the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and what? Great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. And they, who gonna gather up them? The angels are God. They, well, that's on your test. That's why I'm trying to stress that. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the end of heaven to the other. Now, learn a parable of a fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh, getting ready to bring forth. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things that we just mentioned, know that it is near, even at the door. You ain't got time to play, don't have time to backslide. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of the day and the hour, some people gonna know.
No, man.
Oh. But of the day and the hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah, which means Noah, were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man. Noah, remember, was warning. He kept saying it's going to rain. God say it's going to rain. And they said, you've been saying that for 100 years. Noah, go on somewhere and sit down. So, we done got desensitized. They've been preaching Jesus been coming for a long time. He ain't coming yet. Child, please. Okay. Just when you decide that you're not going to believe that he's coming, what's going to happen? Then shall two be in the field, one shall be taken and the other left. Because only one of them going to be ready now. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and the other left. We got to have a witness to say, man, that thing was real. I saw them leave right before my eyes. Watch therefore, for you know not the day, what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the goodman of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord when he cometh shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that house, oh, you've been doing good for a long time. Now all of a sudden you say, oh man, God done took too long, I'm going back with my friends. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with who? The hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I remember this. I used to have like angels all over the house, all in the bathroom, all on the wall. And this Caucasian guy came in. I ain't all of them was going to spend the night in my house, but they all came, and we went to something, and then after they said, I said, all y'all staying in my house? All I know was I was going to my bedroom. So have at it. So they all said, he said, Pastor. I said, what? He said, you got angels everywhere in your house. I said, yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if we all get to heaven and we don't see you? He said, in spite of all these angels that are here? I said, you think that would be funny? He said, because we're going to be looking for you. All we're going to see is what? Angels. Because your house will... Somebody said, be ready.
Be ready.
Just be ready. All right. So I thank God. Amen. I know we're supposed to do the next chapter, 25. Y'all, can I trust y'all to read it?
I have a question.
Most of this is on your test. That's why I wanted to read it. Came straight out the scriptures.
question?
Yes, Mom.
Okay, so you asked the question, and I wanna make sure I have the right answer.
Oh, that one's not on the test. It's about the abomination of desolation being in the holy place. Oh,
You said in 31, verse 31,
okay.
and he will send his angels with a loud trumpet
Oh,
call,
yeah.
and they, and you asked who was they?
Uh-huh.
Angels.
The angels.
Okay.
It's K on your
So
word.
I
K
wanted
on
to
your
know if it
lesson.
was he
I mean, on your
and his
outline.
angels,
Oh, no, the angels supposed to do the gathering now.
the angels.
Yeah,
okay.
he's, what do we tell other people what to do?
Hmm?
When you tell other people what to do, what you do?
Giving them.
Instructions.
Delegation. That's not your test portion, because I see you looking at me. He's delegating his authority and telling them to go gather.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. God bless America. Paul's teaching about the end. That was Jesus' teaching now. We saw all of that. Say it was written in red. Paul's teaching about the end. The Lord will descend. Now, ascend mean what? Descend mean what?
Coming down.
Okay, y'all got to know that. That's important. The dead in Christ will rise first. Now that's going to come out the next chapter. The living will be caught up with them in the clouds to meet the Lord where? And they will be with him how long? Forever. Don't believe those who say the day of the Lord has already come, because some people are teaching that. The day of the Lord will be preceded by, these are the things to look for: rebellion. See, I don't have to look too far for rebellion. The revelation of the man of lawlessness who will first oppose and exalt himself over God. We're going to celebrate. I'm the one that's going to be celebrated. I heard that on TV today. I guess this is celebrating me. Oh, God, y'all pray for me. Set himself up in God's temple. That's an abomination. Proclaim to be God. Be revealed when one holding him back is taken out of the way. Be, because now it's like you holding him back. I don't want y'all to know who he is yet, but I'm going to move eventually and you're going to know who he is. Okay. Be accompanied by satanic counterfeit miracles. Deceive those that do not love truth. If you want to believe a lie, Satan will do what? Tell you a lie. When Jesus comes, the man of lawlessness will be overthrown and destroyed. Oh, somebody say amen. And then I want you to go home and read these scriptures so that you will be familiar with it. And I just want to do a little bit from the introduction, and then we'll take our test. Everything is not going to be on your test. I think the stuff that's on the test, I kind of stress it real hard. These are some words that I just want you to be familiar with. The church age. And sometimes when you take your seminary classes, they'll ask these questions about the church age and eschatology and all of that. So it's good to know it, and real educated preachers, sometimes when they preach on a whole nother realm. And you say, what that mean? Okay, so I want to make sure you know what it means. The church age is the time period from the beginning of the church, about AD 30, until Jesus Christ returns forever, for those who has trusted in him, as promised in John 14. Okay? That's the church age. Eschatology. Is that on your paper, eschatology? Oh, I guess I better spell it. ESCHATOLOGY. Eschatology. That's the study of the Bible's teaching about the events leading up to the second coming of Christ. From Greek, eschatos is final, plus logos, word or idea, a word about the final thing.
Okay.
Y'all gonna write all that? Okay.
Yeah, can you say it?
Okay. Eschatology is the study of the Bible's teaching about the events leading up to the second coming of Christ.
Okay.
Now, this is how it comes about from Greek. Eschatos, ESCHATOS, means final, plus logos, eschatology, word, means idea. So it is a word about the final thing. putting it all together, that's what it means. Eschatology mean a word about what?
The
Final thing.
Oh, I like y'all. The first coming of Christ.
What'd you say,
Spell what now? Eschatology.
No, this other one.
Oh, the Greek eschatos. Eschatos. That means final.
Okay, final.
Yeah, plus logos, and we know logos means the word or idea. So it's a word about the final things. The first coming of Christ. The earthly life and ministry of Jesus Christ around 4 BC to AD 30. That's the first, that's when he was born and came. Okay. The millennium. Tell somebody, anybody know what the millennium is? The 1,000-year reign of Jesus on earth, described in Revelation 20, 4 through 6. And it comes from the Latin, meaning milli, M-I-L-L-E, that means 1,000. So you know when Jesus come back, he gonna reign for 1,000 years. Devil gonna be all locked up. Okay. Now, these beliefs, pre-millennium, they believe that the millennium is a future event and Jesus will return before the pre-millenniums. A-millennium, I need to spell these for you all? Okay.
Good, that would be good.
Okay, pre-millennial, P-R-E-M-I-L-L-E-N-I-A-L, pre-millennial. They believe that the millennium is a future event and Jesus will return before the millennium. A millennium, A-M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A-L. The millennial is a symbol of Christ's present reign among his people. The post-millennial, so you got post, you had pre, put post on this word. Post believe that Jesus will return after the millennium. The millennium is a time in which most of the world submits to Jesus, and peace and justice reigns. Okay?
Is he gonna return before?
Oh, no, I'll give you another word.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think any of this is on your test, it's just good to know. Post-millennial, Jesus will return after the millennium, after the 1,000 years. Okay, preterism, P-R-E-T-E-R-I-S-M, is the eschatological viewpoint that suggests, if not all, biblical prophecies about the end times refer to specific events that happened in the first century. Some preterist interpretations include, and some of the things that they believe, prophecies about the end times refer to specific events that happened in the first century. Some interpretations include the Antichrist refers to Emperor Nero. That means the Antichrist already been here. The tribulation refers to the Jewish war. And the destruction of the temple occurred in AD 70. And that word comes from praeter, which is Latin P-R-A-E-T-E-R, which means past. It has already happened. Okay, the rapture. Somebody tell me what's the rapture?
When the church is part of.
Okay, and I'm just going to tell you what the definition is. That's right. It describes the event in 1 Thessalonians 4:15 through 17, when Jesus returns for his people. Dispensational premillennialists believe that the rapture and second coming of Christ are two separate events. They don't think it's the same thing. They place the rapture before the Great Tribulation and the second coming after the tribulation. Historic premillennialists, amillennialists, and postmillennialists understand the second coming of Jesus and the event described in 1 Thessalonians 4:15 through 17 as the same event. It's the same thing. From the Latin raptus, R-A-P-T-U-S, or that means to be carried away. The second coming of Christ is the bodily return of Jesus to the earth to reign as what? As the king. Tribulation. The tribulation is the time when disasters happen and the earth and people who are faithful to Jesus suffer intense persecution, possibly lasting 7 years, according to Revelation 7:14. Premillennialists place the Great Tribulation near the end. So then, if you go through the tribulation, then you probably got left behind. Don't call me tonight, huh? Dispensational premillennialists typically believe that the tribulation will last exactly 7 years. Many historical premillennialists view the reference to the 7 years as a symbol of the completeness of God's dealing with the world as the end of time approaches. Most amillennialists and postmillennialists treat the tribulation as a symbol of calamities and persecutions that have occurred throughout church history, like that was going on all the time. Some amillennialists and postmillennialists are preterists. They believe that the Great Tribulation occurred between AD 63 and AD 70, like it's already happened, during the Jewish-Roman conflict that ended with the destruction of the Jewish temple. Now, did we make you a copy? Did we copy off? We didn't do none of that. Okay. So if you look at your outline, anybody getting nervous? Don't get nervous now. Don't get nervous. Look at your outline. Most of the stuff is on your outline. And we're going to, next week when we come back now, that other part I gave you about defining revelation and all of that. Okay, that's when you're going to see that again. Defining, tell them what it means.
So we need to take this home and we doing this, right? We need to do this.
So you'll have something to go along with. That should be your outline. How many different views of the end times are there?
4.
There are 4.
Oh, y'all were listening to me? You already pulled out the quiz?
No, ma'am.
Oh, you didn't think we were going to get this far?
I didn't.
Okay, let me review them. Oh, I'm sorry.